Welcome, everyone. I'm really excited to introduce our next 4 inspiration speakers today. Eighth grade were challenged to think about who they're inspired by, what they're passionate about, and what they believe in, what they want to pursue or explore as they move on from Swain, as well as their lessons that they've learned from Swain. So they had to weave all 4 of these elements together in their speeches. And we're really proud of these speakers. They all have very unique speeches for today. And our first presentation is by Caden Roshan-Ruse.
Hello, my name is Caden Roshan-Ruse, and I'm here to speak to you about barriers in life. About a year ago, me and my brother were playing soccer, and we decided to go on a long training run. At the time, running really intimidated me, and I didn't think I could run much. But he told me there's a barrier in your mind telling you you can't do it, and you have to break it and just do it. I took this advice, and I did the run flawlessly. While this is just a small example of running, I've taken this advice and applied it to everything. It's not that I don't have the intelligence to do this math problem, I just need to study it. It's not that I can't run this amount, I just need to practice more. And I think everyone should really follow this. This is something that deeply inspires me, and I learned this outlook from my dad, my mom, and my older brother. My dad, our Jang story, starts off with him being born in Iran. Due to the dangerous political revolution going on in the country during the 1970s and 1980s, his parents sent him to Ann Arbor, Michigan, where he eventually was adopted by a family friend. Because of the language barrier, it was hard for him to adapt to American culture and American school. Even with these circumstances, he studied hard and got into Michigan University and Michigan Tech between his undergraduate and graduate years of college. He went on to get married to my mother, Nassim, have me and my brother, Keanu, and achieve extreme success in the business world by working up in several companies, eventually earning the role of CEO. My father teaches me to be respectful and to have discipline. He was someone I can really talk to without being yelled at or punished. He's a perfect example of breaking through barriers and achieving success. My father showed me hard work when last year in 7th grade he had back issues to the point where it was hard for him to get out of bed. But with these conditions, he still got up and exercised almost every day. And now his back issues are a lot better. This taught me that hard work pays off. Even if it's the last thing in the world you want to do, it'll be worth it. The next person I want to talk about is my mother, Nassim. She grew up her whole life in Iran, even through the revolution, which she was luckily able to stay safe through. She is extremely intelligent, ranking in the top 300 in a 3 million person math test in her college years. She went on to pharmacy school in Iran and worked as a pharmacist, but sacrificed all those years to take care of me and my brother. She has taught me to be kind and that family is the most important thing in your life. Going back to her pharmacist career, my mom is one of the smartest people I know and has so much potential. She went to a very good college and she started working in Iran, then eventually working in America. Eventually, when my brother had my older brother, she stopped working to take care of him. This taught me that family is all you got. Certain friends come and go, but family is forever. My mother also hates to move, and her family has lived in Shanghai, China, Brussels, Belgium, Michigan, Lexington, Massachusetts, and out here in the Lehigh Valley. My mother had to break some major barriers to be able to constantly move and be responsible for my family's well-being no matter where we landed. The last person I want to talk about is my brother, Keanu. He's an extremely funny and cool person to hang out with. And while he maintains a good sense of humor, he still teaches me valuable life lessons. School can be stressful, and my brother makes that clear. But instead of talking about how boring and hard it is, he tells me how to make my way through stuff and how to get prepared for stuff. He's an extremely hard-working person and inspires me to be ambitious. Again, last year in the 7th grade, I did an extracurricular program about math. There are kinds of problems that I could not do, no matter how hard I tried. And my brother would explain to me how to do it every single week, and I just never got it. And it got to a point where he would get frustrated when I didn't do a big chunk of my homework, and he had to explain it to me every time. So sorry, Keanu, but thank you for not giving up on me, no matter how long it took me to get it. Before moving to Swain, I was really resistant to leaving my old town since I had good friends and I genuinely enjoyed school. I was extremely closed-minded coming to Swain, and I didn't necessarily like it the first couple weeks since it didn't feel anything like my old school. While making friends definitely helped me like the school more, Swain has taught me to always be willing to try something new. While there are pros and cons to here, definitely from where I used to live, it has been a great experience, and the school has definitely prepared me for high school. Swain has also taught me to be nice to everyone. It's a small school with only like 20 kids in 8th grade, and you see everyone every day. There's no reason to be mean to someone, especially since you will see them every day and they'll probably be in one of your classes. From the foundation of my dad's accomplishments and lessons and what Swain has taught me, I know I want to pursue being a CEO. Being the younger brother, I always hated being bossed around by my older brother. But by being a CEO, I have the opportunity to be a leader and have people look up to me and be that boss who doesn't boss everyone around, but rather works for the people that I support. I want to be a CEO who makes a difference and is a leader. Now, I want all of you guys to think of a barrier you're facing in life, and I want to tell you that there's a way you can break it. Thank you for listening.
Great. Our next presenter is Tanner Shear.
Hello, my name is Tanner Shear, and today I will be talking about wrestling. Would you sweat and go through excruciating pain for your sport? Well, wrestling happens to be one of those rare sports where at times you experience pain. Wrestling is a very difficult sport. It takes a lot of discipline to be successful. Wrestling is the ideal foundation for other sports. Today I will be talking about wrestling and the importance of it, why wrestling can be fun, and some difficult challenges you may encounter on the way. Wrestling builds balance, agility, hand-eye coordination, flexibility, strength, speed, focus, power, mental toughness, endurance, concentration, and competition. Wrestling teaches self-confidence. This helps individuals have trust in themselves. Wrestling provides a feeling of accomplishment, which embodies excitement, resulting in a rush. Wrestling can be very exciting to do. Winning matches fulfills your body with pure enjoyment. No matter what type of win you achieve, like against a first-time wrestler or against a ranked wrestler, winning is almost always a powerful experience. Once you start getting better at the sport, you make goals you want to achieve. Nothing is more exciting than beating a ranked kid. That is how you know you are getting better. Wrestling is a very competitive sport, but you can't rely on your teammates to do the work for you like in other sports. It is one-on-one, you versus your opponent. You have to know that this is your match and not anyone else's. You can't be friends on the mat. You have to know what a pin is and how to do it. In order to get a pin, you need both of your opponent's shoulder blades to be touching the mat at the same time. You need to know how to score points and show control so you can get those points. A takedown is 2 points. Reversal, 2 points. Escape, 1 point. When holding someone on the back for 5 seconds, it's 3 points. When holding someone on the back from 2 to 4 seconds, it's 2 points. When I first started wrestling, I hated the sport but didn't know any better. I went every day because my parents forced me to go. Every time I went, I knew I was getting my butt kicked. I would cry throughout each practice. And one day I said I have to step up my game. The next year I practiced with a different team. Also, I was a little bit older and understood how to manipulate my opponent on the mat. I learned how the points worked too. One thing I consistently wanted to do was to pin my opponent. Now thinking about this today, I realized it was a horrible idea. If I only tried to pin my opponent, then I would get completely destroyed because that is a mistake a lot of first-year wrestlers make. My first major tournament, I placed second. It was the end of the year tournament for novice wrestlers. The next year, I moved up to junior varsity. This was a much more challenging level. I got better and kind of understood what to do. Maybe all my matches weren't won by pins, however, I learned winning by points were good too. Finally, win or lose, it was fun to compete. Wrestling teaches self-discipline. In wrestling, maintaining your weight with a good healthy diet is essential. To keep things fair, weight classes were developed to support wrestling safety. There are different weight classes for youth, middle school, high school, and college wrestling. Wrestling is not only a sport of strength, power, and quickness, but the sport of wrestling requires technique, flexibility, including physical and mental toughness. In the sport, there are 3 periods and 3 positions which are transitioned throughout the match. There is stand-up, top position, and bottom position. The first position, known as neutral position, which is how the match is started, on your feet. The next 2 positions, are top and bottom, occur after the starting period, where wrestlers travel out of bounds. At the start of second and third periods, the wrestlers have a choice of either of the 3 positions, such as top, bottom, and neutral. At practices, all 3 positions are trained. Practices require a tremendous amount of focus to react to your opponent, and for yourself to train enough to score and win matches. Overall, wrestling is an enjoyable sport and interesting sport to undertake. Even though you may experience some pain and tough days, and you have a fantastic day winning matches, it makes wrestling feel like an extremely exciting time. Wrestling teaches you how to be self-disciplined, healthy, manage your weight, and be part of an amazing community of athletes. In the future, I'd like to become a state-ranked wrestler. I want people to know who I am. As soon as they hear my name, finish here, they will think of my no-quit positive attitude and pure strength. Every day I continuously learn what will help me achieve this. It's a way of life. Currently, I have a shoulder injury, a growth plate is cracked, and I have 2 labor tears. I haven't been able to wrestle nor do anything physical for months. I realized how much I miss training the sport. I really enjoy not only the sport because I'm pretty decent at it, but because it's very active and pleasurable. Don't you just want to wrestle now? I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.
All right, our next presenter is Joelle Okune.
Hello, my name is Joel Okune, and one question I've always asked myself is whether it's possible to do all things by yourself in life. When I thought about this question, I really didn't know what the answer was, but I do know support from your family is the best feeling you could ever have. One person that supports not only me, but my whole family is my mom, Esther Okune. My mom is an amazing person that always supports me for me. One story about how my mom is understanding and supportive of my family was when my sister was getting ready to go back to school after she got married. My sister Rachel, my second oldest sister, got accepted into Delaware Valley University, and we are all very proud. She even got a new job at a children's hospital in Philadelphia. Everything was going to plan until she found that she was pregnant. My mom knew that this was not a planned pregnancy, but she accepted change, even more importantly, gave my sister support. Along with the rest of my family, although this was not supposed to happen for the next 2 to 3 years, according to my brother-in-law, my mom knew that that she could be helpful in the situation, coming up with lots of possibilities to get my sister back to school and have a healthy baby. My mom knows that life happens and things come unexpectedly, but my mom also knows the power through and come up with a great solution. My mom is super hardworking and has always looked out for my siblings and I. My mom was born in Ikom, a town located in Cross River State, Nigeria. She also grew up in the city of Enugu. My mom is the last born of 6 children on her mother's side. Once my mom was married and she had my sisters, they all moved to the United States in 2007. Once my family moved over to the United States, my mom decided to transition her career path into nursing. Now my mom works with St. Luke's as a nurse, and I know she's extremely driven yet dedicated to her family and community. My mom has put so much time into me and cares about my future. I know that when I leave the house, I want to pursue a career just like my mom's. My mom is a nurse, and a good one at that. My mom is caring and respectful and does not play around when it comes to work. My dream is to work in the medical field as a biomedical engineer. I want to make a difference in the medical field and create better technology for people's health. Even though biomedical engineering is ranked as one of the hardest engineering majors right now, I know I want to push for the career and be like my mom. My mom has taught me so many life lessons that I know I will use. The fact that she wants to help people makes me want to help people and become a biomedical engineer. Creating medical devices is something I really want to do. From all the things I've seen my mom do, I know what kind of person I want to be. I want to be helpful towards others that need it. I also want to be someone that truly cares about others and my future. I know that I can push through and become a biomedical engineer. I also want to make a positive change. No matter what happens, I want to find the joy in the things like my mom does. I love it. Thank you.
All right, our last speaker for today is John Rush.
You don't realize what you have until it's gone. Good afternoon. My name is Sean Rush, and when I was 6 years old, my uncle Vincent unfortunately passed away. Looking back to when I was 6 years old, if you had asked me what he had done, I wouldn't have known. But now that I'm older, I realize the full extent of the great things he has done for my family, his community, and how he and my dad have continued to inspire me to pursue my dream job, to become a pilot. My uncle was born in Evergreen Park, Illinois, and was the son of Joyce Porter and Vincent A. Rush, my dad. My uncle worked for 25 years for the Berks County Communications Center. He started as a dispatcher, and then his most recent job was a computer-aided dispatch administrator. However, before this job, he worked as a police officer for the Topton and Kutztown boroughs. My uncle also loved to play pool and played in a few pool leagues across Berks County. My uncle was also a U.S. Air Force veteran, serving in the Air Force Reserves. My uncle was very friendly with everybody he met. He loved his family and community. From everything that I remember with my uncle, I can remember how loving and friendly he was with me, my sister, and my cousin. My sister Catherine absolutely loved my uncle, and she swears that he liked her more than me. But I'd say it's even. He had no favorites, at least that I know of. I have a story of the only time I got upset at him, and it was when he was sitting on the couch and I had a loose tooth. I decided to mess around, and he gently flipped me over the couch. He accidentally bumped my loose tooth. I was devastated, and I started to cry. My dad then picked me up and plopped me in front of his laptop and put on a documentary. My uncle then came up to me and apologized, and he seemed so sincere. But I continued to stay mad because I was 6 years old and I just wanted an excuse to stay mad. Ever since I was probably 2 years old, I've always wanted to become a pilot, and my Uncle Vince plus my dad have supported these dreams. As you know from above, my uncle was in the Air Force, but he unfortunately never flew. My dad and grandfather were also pilots, with my grandfather serving 40 missions over Iwo Jima in World War II. My dad is also a pilot and has been flying for over 40 years, earning his pilot's license at only 16 years old. He was hired for Northwest Airlines, and in 2010, Delta acquired Northwest, which is where he continues to work to this day. As I move on into high school and eventually college, I will continue to chase after my dream and put in the work required to become a pilot. I know that my family will continue to support me on this journey, and the support has already started as I've already taken a few flying lessons. I know it will be difficult, but I will continue to take flying lessons until I'm able to test for my private pilot's license when I'm 16 years old. Later in my life, I will try to become a commercial pilot like my dad, or possibly try to join the Air Force if I manage to get through college. Now ask yourself, what are you willing to do to chase after your dreams? Thank you.
Let's give another round of applause for all of our presenters today. All right. So all four presenters, please come to the front. All right. So we will take some questions from the audience. Does anybody have any questions for our presenters? John, can you project your voice?
Personal reasons.
Mr. Lonnebacher.
Probably playing just games on the Xbox together, and he always kicked my butt, but I got better.
Mrs. Transition, you have a question?
So I told my parents I'm writing a speech about them, and my brother. My brother unfortunately couldn't come because he has a lot of finals in school. But My parents didn't know like what was in the speech, but they knew I was making a speech about them.
My mom had no clue I was doing this speech, and if she asked, I said, "Don't worry about it."
Well, I like Spencer Lee. Iowa State.
Definitely. I mean, if I could, I would write about my whole family because there's a lot of people that inspire me. But yeah, so definitely.
Yeah, I had a lot of people I wanted to write about, but I narrowed it down to my mom.
Well, I was thinking about doing like my parents and maybe my sister.
Very similar to Caden, I wanted to do a lot of people in my family, but there just wasn't enough room.
Well, I feel like a lot of people don't really know much about wrestling, and I kind of wanted to let people know about wrestling.
All right, so we are going to have all 6th, 7th, and 8th graders again go out to the courtyard. So if you are a 6th grader, please quietly walk out to the courtyard. Guests, can you please stay so we can do some photos with our presenters? If you are in 7th grade, please walk out to the courtyard. Peter, put that chair back, please. If you are in 8th grade, you can go out to the courtyard, except for presenters.